So it's 9th of February 22. Okay, first of all, I'm just going to go through where I think the market is. There were some good moves last night. So I'm thinking, yeah, my bearishness might have been slightly overdone. Yeah, not in tech, but some broader based moves were coming through, nothing crazy. So on the NASDAQ, the stocks under the 50 days have reclaimed that 20% line. So it has sort of zigged and zagged above and below that. But now I'm thinking we're somewhere either an amber or a green phase. I definitely don't think we're in a red phase anymore. That capitulation selling has stopped, at least for the time being. But things like VIX has come down. Capitulation sellings, put calls sort of dried down. There's not quite that same fear that it was in January. And equally, we're also definitely not in a double green, which is sort of generational opportunity. I've updated this sheet for just a few more sort of just odds and ends. Double green. I've also, there's just absolutely just bargains out there. You know, the value stock's trading at 3 times, for example. I can't actually remember what else I've added to this list, but just sort of odds and ends. So I can definitely say we're not in a double green or a red phase. There's not this sort of huge value out there. The number of stocks trading above the 200-day hasn't. It actually got down to 20%, which is pretty low, but it didn't get down to that sort of 15%, which is extremely low. So yeah, definitely in a green or amber phase. So that's telling me to start to increase my position size. I'm not going to go crazy, as I'll come to in a moment. I'm just going to add 2 trades. Let's see how they go. Now, if we're in a sort of a green signal, that's basically an intermediate low. So there's touch wood, maybe some money to be made over the next month or two after the sort of sell-off we've just had. If not, I'm going to get stopped out. So I'm going to take probably more of a swing trade sort of mentality, or at least partial position in swings. So maybe take 50% profits and get a certain profit and let the ride rest. And then, but if I'm wrong and we go back into a red sort of sell-off, I'm going to get stopped out and hopefully with some profits. So I'm going to cash out on Zim. Overall damage to the portfolio is not going to be too bad. So I'm just also noting my voice is sounding a bit more energetic. So whether that's good or bad, I don't know. But in terms of sector, XLE is looking a bit extended. Financials, there's actually a number of financials, so banks and trading type companies that are actually looking all right. Health, semis, would you believe they had a sort of some really good moves last night. So I'm just wondering if we've sort of seen the stage 4 sell-off in some of those stocks and maybe now moving more towards stage 1. Too early to be buying, I think, but definitely interesting and maybe more towards stage 1. Now I might have a sort of bias there because I do have options on 4 or 5 different settings there. So yeah, like I said, maybe I've got a bias. KBE, I can't remember which sector that is. Metals and mining, XOP. Shipping is also looking really strong as well. Like TGH had a really strong move. So like I say, just feeling a bit more positive than recently. Again, I'm just going to have to go with what my analysis is showing, that we're either in a amber to green phase there. And I should also say there's actually quite a few individual stocks that are just actually starting to look all right. So I had to go through and select which stocks I was going to take. So, yeah, okay. Let's that's that. So in terms of the trades that I'm going to do, I said I was going to have a sell order in for Zim, shipping company. It's just under $75. I'm going to take that back. I'm actually going to sell half. I put an order in to sell half at this current price here, so around 71.30. The point being is I was basing a profit target on where I bought, which is actually a bit extended. I'm going to do that instead of where I should have bought it, so more down here. So if I'd actually bought that correctly, the profit would have been sort of over 20%. So my risk return would be about 3x because the stop loss should have been sort of down here somewhere. So I'm going to base a sell decision on where I should have been buying it, not where I did buy it and I was hoping to get a profit. So yeah, I'm going to hopefully sell half tonight at this current price, and then it's looking slightly extended here anyway, so I might be due for a pullback. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Okay, like I said just before, there's a number of stocks in my alert list that are actually looking pretty good. So I've just gone through my notes and just reminded myself I'm going to want to buy the best of the best. So I want to buy stocks that are coming out of a nice long base. The 50-day moving average is rising, preferably no current resistance. Stocks that are moving in either stage 2 or stage 2A, which is stocks coming out of a first base or two, but not extended. High relative strength, and if I'm buying a stock stage 2A consolidation pattern, I'm looking for things like an upside reversal, pullback buy, a cup with handle, or a VCP. So the list of stocks that I came up with, the shortlist was CBRE, BOSS, GSL, HES, KIM, LVS, LLNW, and UPS. UPS is the options in that are quite cheap. It had a BGU, bit of a pullback. Historically, it can sort of flail around a little bit, so I'm going to see if it gives me a better pullback buy. It did actually. Why don't I just get it up? Stop talking about it. Huge move here. Bit of an upside reversal day. Got an alert set here. Normally a pullback, you'd think we'll just go for a few more days than that. So I'm going to be very closely watching that one. But the stocks that I am going to put orders on tonight are HES, strong sector, VCP type action, so 1 cup, less shallow cup, and then less shallow again. I had a bit of a pullback today, so yeah, I'm gonna have a crack at buying this tonight. So I'll put a limit order on there for around about 94.50 or 60. Again on the weekly 1 cup, 2 cup push, and I'm going to try and get the stop loss to around here or so. I haven't done options. I haven't looked at the options on this. I'm sort of, tell you the truth, just trying to get my eye back in on just stocks in general, make sure I've got a bit more of a flow state and looking at the charts. But I do want to crank up the options. I'm also thinking, do I wait for more of a confirm we're in a green phase where I can just start pressing a bit harder, and I think there's sort of upside to come, more upside to come. I sort of need to work through that mentally. The other one is Las Vegas Sands. The only real negative I can see here is that there's previous resistance, but that's now back in July last year. So stage 4, stage 1, 50 days turned up. Huge move on earnings here. Held the move, which is really impressive, especially of late, and pushed above previous resistance. So this tells me it's now moved into stage 2 because it's pushed above previous resistance, and done it quite nicely. Thanks very much. And a bit of a volume dry up as it's sort of consolidating here. So I'm going to put an order on that tonight. Fairly wide stop. Sort of an inverse. Sometimes I'm not exactly sure what an inverse head and shoulders really is, but it's more of a, for my take, it's a sort of just a nice bottoming process like we saw in the pandemic. Yeah, so looking pretty good. Nice strong relative strength in both of these stocks. Let me double check that. LVS. I suppose not hugely strong. But HES is definitely got strong relative strength. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see how those trades go.